His office is charged with tracking COVID infections and those being exposed, and they've had their work cut out for them as recently, but he just sent me an email today that our big spike that actually exceeded the last year's pandemic occurred this fall semester, but now it's going back down. And so we're very happy to know that it's going back down. I think the thing that helps us, even though the governor does not allow mandated mask wearing, is that if you continue to wear your mask and socially distance as much as you can, certainly be vaccinated. I think that that's extremely important in your field, is to follow all the safety rules, washing your hands and being sanitary as much as you can in the academic environment, and certainly in the work environment. Aseptic technique is of the most importance. I wore my mask. I'm 6 feet away from folks. The people up here have all been vaccinated. You can get the disease even though you've been vaccinated, but I think the statistics we have, very, very small. I think that of the infections, it's like 95% of all the infections of students occurred from students that were not vaccinated. And I think that's a general trend that continues to occur. For example, we had, at one time, I think about 51 students that were infected with COVID, and 48 of them had not been vaccinated.
That's one week.
In 1 week, yes. So I encourage all of you to, wear the mask, socially distance when you can, and make sure you keep the vaccinations up to date. So I think that's the biggest challenge for us, is to help students be successful, because when you're out for 14 days, that's even if you're being able to keep up online, it's not the same as being, in the class or being in the clinical setting. All right. Anybody want to ask other questions? There's a microphone right up here, so y'all come forward if you got a question. We got one comment here where they said they loved Episcopal State College. They love their teachers. And I'll give that student's name to all the teachers, so they don't want to give them a name. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Anybody got a question? You want to go back and get some more pizza? We got plenty of it up there. All right. No questions. Y'all came over here. Y'all want to say anything? Dan, what you want to tell them?
First of all, thank you all for coming today. Just seeing this group is good representation of this campus, and we really appreciate your input and your questions of Dr. Meadows today. And one of the questions on the list was, where do we see the college in 5 years? And I just want to say, I hope we can say we are post-pandemic.
Just want to second what everyone has said. Thank you for being here. Before this started, it was so nice to be able to get out and see some people. Saw a young man that I met when he was helping us test for our new workday system, Student Workday. And he came and gave us some great feedback, and it's so exciting to see him now here, a student pursuing a health program. Talked to some nursing students, and they talked about, I asked them about the pandemic, and they said pandemic makes them even more committed to going into the healthcare field. So I have a feeling that's true with all of you. There's probably a passion that you have, a desire to serve and help people, and I commend you, because that takes it's a lot of work. It's not easy. You have to learn a lot. You have to constantly gain knowledge to stay current in your field, but kudos to all of you, and thank you for coming today. And I hope that anytime you think of things that you think we could do in administration to help support you as students, to make we're here for you, That's why we do what we do. That you'll voice that, share that thought, share that opinion, ask those questions. It's very important that you engage not only with one another, but with those of us that make decisions, because you can help us make better decisions.
I do. I'll stand up so I can see the folks way in the back. I want to just briefly talk to you about vaccinations, and this campus in particular is one where I think it's very important. I've been working with Dr. Sluter on vaccination issues. We do not mandate that you be vaccinated. In fact, there's a Florida law that says we cannot mandate that you be vaccinated and prove it to us. But the problem for some of you will be you're going to go into clinical rotations in healthcare facilities, and those facilities require it. So I want to explain what that means. When you're here, you're our students. You're college students. You're learning the various different majors that you're going into to learn your professional skills. But when you go to a clinical site, you are actually an unpaid volunteer at their site. That's the way it works under HIPAA. Everybody heard of HIPAA, right? Hopefully you all have. That's the only way you can be privy to their patient information. You're not privy to it being a student here. You're only privy if you were considered to be a part of their workforce. And so under that federal law, when you leave here and go to a hospital, you're their employee, not ours. And they will, some healthcare providers will require you to be vaccinated, and the law makes an exception and says that healthcare providers can require it. So I just want you to be aware of that, because they're going to work very hard to place you into those clinical assignments. But if you haven't been vaccinated and you want to go to Sacred Heart or Baptist Healthcare, where some of the best jobs may be, you've got to be vaccinated to go there. So it's not us making you do it, but I'm just trying to give you another reason why. If you're not vaccinated now, you may want to do it before you get to your clinical rotations. So hopefully that was some helpful information, and I'll be here if anybody has questions about that.
I got a question about it.
Yes, sir.
So I know that they can require vaccination.
Mhm.
That's fine, I'm not vaccinated. But under SB 2006, like you're talking about, they made it legal to request vaccination proof.
That's right.
So how does that go about? Like,
There is a specific exemption that says healthcare providers are exempt from this. So that's how. I mean, it's just that simple. But it's a good question though, because why does it apply to everybody but them? Because the legislature left them out.
it's just a proof part that was kind of, I know they can require, but the proof part's always confusing.
Right. You're absolutely right.
I just want to echo what other people have said and thank all of you for coming. And as Dean Duturbo said, we are here to serve you all. And if you ever have any questions or suggestions or recommendations, Dr. Sluter's office is a place where you can go to get questions answered or to make suggestions or recommendations, and she will bring those up the chain of command to me and to Dr. Meadows as necessary. So again, thank you for coming, and study hard, do well in classes, and we hope to see you again next semester.
I just echo as well. Thank you all for being here, and I love seeing you back on campus. It's nice to see the faces, the eyes behind the mask if you're wearing the mask, and it's nice that we're able to go back in the clinical setting, and I appreciate your dedication to your studies. Thank you again.
Dr. Spicer, what was that university you attended?
Auburn University.
Dr. Spicer got all three of her degrees at Auburn University. So, War Eagle. Dr. Sluter, what's your alma mater that you claim?
My doctorate is from Duquesne University in Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh. What about undergraduate?
USA, Mobile.
USA Mobile. All right, Nan, what about you?
I'm a local, UW.
UWL.
Small, University of Montevallo, Alabama.
Montevallo, yes. Right up the road, Mr. Gillum.
I went to Pensacola Junior College and the University of West Florida, and then got my law degree at Mississippi College School of Law.
Pacific College. So you can see that, we're from all over the place, and including local. Education is lifelong, and even if you don't get another degree, when you get in the workplace, you're still gonna have to be trained and retrained, and so there's always gonna be professional development. But, we do have, linkage programs to higher degrees, use lobotomy students, I know you know that. And, so a good opportunity to get yourself started in the health, science world and phlebotomy, and, you know, I hope all of you, remember that, what all of these, administrators have said, that, you know, we're here to serve you, not just pizza, but, you know, financial aid to help you, and so I encourage all of you to keep abreast of, our website and look for scholarship opportunities for that next degree or that next training opportunity. And, you know, we're very proud of all of you that have chosen this field, of health science, because it's a very special health science. And I was in the hospital with COVID for 5 days, and about half of my nurses were graduates of this fine institution, but every single one of them, you know, had the caring heart that it takes to be a good healthcare provider. So I was well taken care of. So I hope, you know, I see y'all in graduation, and I hope I never see you when I'm in a bed in the hospital. Now go back and get some more pizza, and thank you for coming again. A question? We got a question. What area is that?
3100.
3100.
Yes. First of all, when it rains and we come in and soak, the building is full, and we understand it has to be a certain way, especially in the health clinic. But there's no way for us to clean that in our room, and some of us came in and completely soaked. I saw a couple of them and a couple of them completely soaked, and it was freezing in our room. It wasn't healthy. Our teacher actually has a heater in our building right now to keep us warm. We have to change classrooms. Yeah, and then we have vending machines that aren't cold. Their drinks are just hot. And every other building has a break room for their students, to where ours doesn't. Medical assistants.
Well, we just didn't wait long enough for questions, did we? We got vending machines that aren't cold, that are supposed to be cold. We got rooms that are too cold, they're either too cold or too hot. Part of the problem is our chiller system that we have in large campuses like this. But we're making notes, and we're gonna see what we can do about it, okay? You know, I'm glad I haven't heard this, but I might hear it. Anybody have a problem with smells in bathrooms? Yay! I mean bad smells in bathrooms. Okay. Well, if you do, you can privately talk to Dr. Sluter about it if you don't want to raise your hand on that. Well, I don't know about y'all, but I'm gonna go get a piece of pizza. So thank y'all for being here.